Welcome back to our first ever Let's Get Logical podcast. I am JT Smelik, and I am here with my special guest, Hayley Seibel. And Hayley is a huge Logic fan, and she has been bugging me to bring her onto whatever podcasts I make and make a podcast with her, because she feels like she's not...
I'm left out.
She feels left out, even though no one else really does these with me either. So... she's home from Central Michigan, and I thought I would bring her on and let her finally do a podcast with me. So, Hayley, are you excited to finally do one?
Well, yeah. I'm excited for my face. Be up on background in the frame.
On the background?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me how you first got into Logic.
Well, you. But I wasn't a rap fan whatsoever. Incredibly emo. And then I met you, and you were all about Logic, and I was like, who the hell is this? And you were sending me a bunch of different links to all of his songs, and I was in a hotel room on my way to Florida, and just trying to listen to them and try to understand why you liked Logic so much. And then you sent me Flexecution, and I was like...
It was the night that song came out. I remember that. It was like
it was the night that song came out.
Yeah, because it was me and Patty. We like the moment it came out, like we were in the middle of playing a game and it came out, and we just like stopped playing and we were like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!"
Yeah. Well, that came like I listened to that one and I was like, I kind of like this. I'm starting to feel it, and so yeah. And then I told you that, and then I don't know. I think I didn't really like the other ones you sent me, but I can't remember. I know you sent me some of the mixtapes. Like, a couple of them, and I was just like...
oh, the mixtapes.
But, yeah, and then, I don't know. From there, things just kind of kept... oh, yeah, then I joined Apple Music. That's how.
You joined my Apple Music, and that's how everything changed.
Yes. And I think from there... well, did Bobby Tarantino come out, like...
Bobby Tarantino.
After you showed me that, it was like, did it come out
after Flexecution?
I mean, like, we started talking like in June.
Yes.
It was like early July, I think, maybe when you showed me.
Yes.
Did it come out before or after we started talking?
After.
So then I was like
a week after.
So I was like there for it then.
Yeah, you were there for the release.
Okay, so I think it was from there then.
Yes. Okay, so what would you say is your favorite Logic album?
I've always told myself that, as I like secretly scroll through my Apple Music for it, because I always forget names of everything. Incredible True Story.
So you like the Incredible True Story?
I always, yeah. I don't really know why, because I think that one used to be like my least favorite, possibly. I don't really know, because I think I liked Under Pressure the most, only because you did.
Yes.
And then Bobby Tarantino, and then Incredible True Story, but it was because, like, how Incredible True Story was more of, like, a story in a way, and I just, like, the music I wasn't really bumping with, anything like that, and then I just, yeah, but over time I just started listening to more, and, yeah, so now I call that one my favorite.
Okay, so your favorite album is The Incredible True Story. Why is it your favorite?
It was something that, like, sort of adapted over time. I don't really know how to explain it. It's just probably after listening to everybody, and
you were like, wow, that's garbage. I need something
no,
better
I didn't
than
think
that.
everybody was garbage. It was a lot different, but I honestly could not really tell you. I think that just, like, there's just something different about the whole thing, because Under Pressure is more of, like, it's more of a depressing album. And so...
It's a, how they would say, a bleak album with soulful beats. That's actually, like, I'm pretty sure that's, like, the album description.
Well, yeah. So when I listen to, like, when I want to listen to depressing stuff, I don't listen to Under Pressure. I listen to something entirely different. So, yeah, I don't I don't really listen Under Pressure much anymore. It's an every good once in a while. But Bobby and Tarantino, that's if I really want to turn up. So, yeah, and then Everybody's just like this. I'm in an odd place with it. I do like it, but it's just I don't know where it kind of stands with me.
Okay, so we've touched on that.
Yeah.
So you're like in the middle about Everybody.
Yes.
Okay, because I think it's his worst album, and many will argue that, but many will agree with that. I think it is his worst album lyrically. I think it's his worst album in terms of creativeness for Logic. But like it's not that it's bad in terms of creativity. It's just when you hear someone like come up with like Metropolis and like, or not Metropolis. I don't know why I just said that. Metropolis, and then like Under Pressure, and then he transitions into Incredible True Story, and like you're like, okay, well, we go from like learning about you, now you're literally taking us on a motion picture through music. Like that's insane. So like when you come back to like this, like the whole concept of God and everything, I did love that. I thought that was the highlight of the entire like thing. But like then there were songs like Suicide Hotline, which I just don't understand how that didn't win an award.
Either.
Because that's like the most over song in the entire world. Like it literally, like if you say what I'm about to say, I don't like the song. If you say that, people look at you and go, oh, you don't like Suicide, then you don't care about it. But no, I found it very ironic that the Anxiety, I thought it was very funny that like that song, even though it had just as important of a message as Suicide Hotline, I found it hilarious that just like in real life when everyone overlooks anxiety, everyone overlooked the song.
Well, I really, really enjoyed that song.
Which one?
Anxiety.
I love it. It's my top 3.
But that's just because like I tend to focus on like the keys that like songs are in. So just like the key that Anxiety is in, which is like C sharp, like that is what I love, and I think that like it adds to like the tone of like the whole thing. And then when it comes to like 1-800, like that one is just like it's a little weird.
It's a sellout, like
a little bit, yeah.
I and it doesn't. Everyone thinks the word sellout is like a bad thing to be told, but like it's not.
It's not. Well, like that song.
I'm like, okay. Here's how I've listed it. All right, Damn was Kendrick's sellout album. Mm-hmm. Recovery was Eminem's sellout album. It doesn't make them bad albums. In fact, those are probably, in terms of like everyone knowing the artist, those are probably the 2 albums that always get associated by the general public for those 2 artists.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make them bad albums, but it is your sellout album.
Well, the reason why, like, I like 1-800 for the message and everything like that, and I don't really have a problem with it. What I'm mad about is that it's that song that was highlighted the most.
Yes, that is my whole problem.
So
I don't hate the song. I have nothing wrong with the song. It's a fine song. My whole problem is I don't even hate the album. I just hate how
I just don't think it really touches on like their perspectives like it said it would.
Yes. First off, it wasn't everybody. It was like but it was black. You're either understanding this by being black, or like there's like a line where he mentions I'm white, so that's great.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm just as white as that Mona Lisa. That's probably the only time like where I actually hear him like
say, oh my gosh, I really did like that song. That song.
Yes, Black Spider-Man was the highlight. Like I thought
that one's always like
that's
that one always gives me chills.
Good song. That one's a really good song, and I know that you're gonna like kiss Damian Lamar Hudson's ass. Because, like, I know that you really think that ending... I think the ending...
Oh, my gosh. No, every time. I can't listen to it anymore.
I think it's...
It makes me so sad. Like,
Why? I think it's the boringest ending to the song.
I haven't listened to that song since the concert when I listened to it live. But, except I was a little upset that, like, he, like, took it down an octave at the ending. But I can understand, towards the end of tour, it's a little rough. But, like, that is chills every time.
Yes.
So.
But you see, like, my whole problem with Everybody wasn't, like, I guess it's my same problem with Damn, is, it's not that the album's bad, it's just, I hold you to such a high pedestal, and I love everything you make, and then, like, you put out something that I don't feel is your best work, and then, which I can, like, if you want to make different music, that's fine, like, I don't rap about the same things all the time, I can get that, But then when you receive the most popularity off of what I think is like your worst, it's not that I'm blaming the artist. I'm more or less mad at the fan base or like the general people that hear that, because like going on award shows, performing in front of all these people, and like I'm just sitting there, I'm like, have you even heard like Welcome to Forever, Under Pressure, like any of the like Incredible True Story, such beautiful songs that literally he will never get to highlight to the general public.
Yeah, well, that's what makes me scared about like the new stuff that's been released, is that like how modern it sounds now, and then there's the whole thing about the lyrics.
Yes. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. He released 3 new songs, Every Day, Overnight, and 44 More.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I really liked 44 More. I think that one, maybe out of like all 3 of them, is like lyrically good.
Yes.
But like that's in a way like how the lyrics, I guess I don't want to say like the lyrics in Everybody was poor, but it kind of was compared to like the rest of his stuff.
Yes.
So like it made me scared about all of it, like his newer stuff. So 44 More was good, but then it almost kind of went downhill from there, because like the beats are like, I absolutely like, they're spectacular.
Yes.
Like I think it's like I can really get down to it and everything like that, but and like even though it has that more modern sound, like it's still Logic, and that's what I like. But Every Day was just like, I mean, I don't try not to take it too seriously.
Was that the song that he was more or less singing with Marshmello? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, like that one. Like, I mean, I try to look at it more as a just like a like Let's Get High, not like trying to take it too seriously.
I really didn't.
But
I just, my whole thing with that song was I really like, it wasn't bad, but it felt like there was so little like, a lot of Logic songs I can feel like so much soul in the music. And so when I heard that song, I literally felt like it just got made just because he was like
yeah, I don't know.
He was like going through like his old music that he had for like Bobby Tarantino, and he's like, oh, here's some lyrics, and he just kind of threw it together, and he didn't like actually feel what he was doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I understand like the problem with like, I mean, like now you're actually like you made it. Now what do you like sing about? So I get that, but like, I don't know. So that's what makes me sad, is that like.
That's why I just wanted to continue the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rap about the story.
But that's what I'm scared about. Is like, how's that gonna be like? Because it's not. Of course, it's not gonna be anything like Incredible True Story. But like, is it gonna be as like bad lyrically as Everybody was? Or
no. See, my whole thing with Everybody's lyrics, I actually don't hate. Okay, so it is lyrically his weakest album, but he does show spots of like he still has it. Like he's like, I can tell it's not that he's lost it. I think he's actively choosing to journey more towards like production and like trying to like convey messages, and not so much rapping. And that's what you see with like a lot of the speeches, and he tells story, like he just starts talking. Like that's why Anxiety is probably my least favorite song on the album to listen to, but it has my favorite part of a song out of anything. The opening to that song, when he goes like super fast at the end, and then it like goes into his song. I really wish he had just an entire song like that, because he killed that song.
I really, really would have enjoyed that. Yeah.
Anxiety is lyrically his best out of the entire album.
I think that's like, I mean, Anxiety and Take It Back as well.
Take It Back is
like,
also really good, yes.
Because like pretty much like when he starts talking, like of course the first few times like I'd listen to it the whole way through, because like as like towards the end like there's a really good like kind of part in there, but like I just kind of at this point once he starts talking, I just skip right through.
That's the problem. That's been my whole thing with like albums. You need to just have it transition into the next song, you know what I mean? And then if you want to like he did it in The Incredible True Story, and it worked out really well. Yeah. It just transitioned, and then they would just be talking with like the music fading out in the background.
Yeah, and it wasn't even too long either.
Exactly. So I mean, if you want to have it longer, then please just put a cut into it so I can enjoy the entirety of the song.
Well, because even the Take It Back music video was like only like it was less than 2 minutes.
It was 2 minutes long basically, because of course.
And that's what was like a little ridiculous. And even at the concert, like that was it just like it came and went.
Yeah. So I can totally understand that, but we got a little off topic. So the 3 new songs that came out, what would you say? So is Every Day probably your least favorite then?
Yeah, I haven't listened to it as much.
I have not. Overnight is probably the one I've listened to.
I've had it stuck in my head. Like I've had Every Day stuck in my head all day long. And it's all I can really like repeat over and over. But Overnight, I mean, that one I also kind of look at as just like a, like, let's just party or whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one either. Like, that's where I think that one is what makes me scared about, like, what Ultra 8.5 will be, and then especially, like, Bobby and Tarantino too. But, like, even, like, if those songs were to be, like, in Bobby Tarantino too, I'd feel...
Keep going.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, you suck. But, I think that I wouldn't be as disappointed. So, if those were to, like,
Songs that were in Bobby Tarantino too?
Yeah, if those were songs, like, if pretty much Bobby and Tarantino too were, had songs all like that, then, you know, it's whatever. But for Ultra 8.5, like, I'm expecting the lyrics to be better. So, and
yes,
that's kind of what I'm afraid of, and all that.
So the 3 songs, I'm 90% sure it's from Bobby Tarantino too, or at least 2 of them are.
Yeah.
One might be a single. I am for sure Ultra 85, or yeah, that's what it's called, right?
Ultra
yeah.
8.5.
85.
85.
85. That will not be coming out this year. It will be Bobby Tarantino 2 come summertime. I'm almost 1,000% sure. And we're gonna be bumping that shit the whole summer. But Ultra 85 is I'm so like eager for because, but like I already know.
I don't know. I just like for that. I mean, I didn't really think anything about Bobby Tarantino 2, or even like remember anything. Like I've never remembered Logic saying anything about it, even though I had a feeling that maybe he would release another mixtape.
Yeah.
But still, like, I was expecting Ultra 85 to be out this summer before...
You were?
Yeah, before Bobby Tarantino 2.
But
it did... Okay, well, listen,
At the end of African...
I know. Even if, you know, that's supposed to be his last album, that doesn't mean he can't make a mixtape right after.
That is true.
So there's that.
But don't, like...
That's gonna be his last album. That doesn't mean it's gonna be his last mixtape.
But what you have to realize is the man loves telling a story. He loves having like my life is like a my life is like a movie role. Got these women on me, something like that. It's off of one of his mixtape songs.
Yeah,
I can't think of it off the top of my head. I think it's Walking On By, but you have to understand is like in his mind. Do you think he like obviously I can already tell you how Ultra 84 is gonna end, alright? It's gonna be like him being like...
Did you say Ultra 84?
Is it 85, sorry. Oh, God forbid, I don't know the non-existent album's name. But it's gonna be like him giving like a farewell and saying like, you know, I've enjoyed...
Oh my God, don't even...
Yes, I know, it's gonna be very heartbreaking, but that's basically what it's gonna be. He wants this to be like... the climax of an entire trilogy, and it's gonna just, you know, culminate into like him saying, you know, I've loved doing this. Thank you guys for being with me for all this time, but this is
being a separate track than the song.
No, I do not. I want it to end like Africarian. And
really?
Yep, and it's gonna end like that. So do you think logically he would try to drop a just bump mixtape the following like?
Well, actually, if I really think about it, I think he is writing his second novel right now, and he already finished the first. So, to think that maybe those could be a part of the story, okay, well, there's an artist she goes by Lights, and so she has an album out. For whatever reason, I can't remember the album name of it right now.
It's probably garbage.
It's actually, well, I mean, for you, but it's like, it's an electronic...
Oh,
you know,
electronic
kind of like,
garbage.
It's not. It's actually... I don't know. I started listening and I really like it. And I always play it. But, like, she has a comic... Like, she makes comics now. And they, like, the album goes with, like...
I can understand
books,
that.
Like, it's super interesting. I haven't seen any of, like, the comics. So I don't know any... Like,
I don't care about it.
I don't know. Okay, basically, like... There's just different... I don't know how to explain this.
No, I understand. You're telling me it ties in. That's what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, it's like music and comics.
Okay, but do you think he's going to get through 3 fucking albums and just be like, okay, well, let me just have some stuff tie in.
Well, I think that the novels, in a way...
I think it has nothing to do with it.
What do you think it's about? What, biography? Autobiography?
Well, he obviously loves Quentin Tarantino, so obviously he wants to be a fucking... You know, he's already stated, I want to be a film director. But, yeah, he wants to be a film director, so, like, of course he's probably writing scripts on, like, whatever he wants to write about.
Okay, maybe that's the first one, but the second novel, however...
It could be... It could be part 2 to the first novel. Oh, what a gamble that would be, wouldn't it? The man who's had 3 albums that all follow each other in a story. How could he have a book follow another book? That's a ballsy decision logic.
You know what? Whatever.
Sir Robert.
You know what? You never know. Maybe...
You could be right. Who knows?
I feel like I am right.
I won't say you're wrong. But, okay, so, Ultra 85. Okay. Expectations for the new album. When that finally drops. What do you think? What do you want to have happen, and what do you think will happen?
I want lyrics like Under Pressure, with a storyline like Incredible True Story.
But you want a message with, like, everybody.
No.
Oh.
No, because that... Okay, well, if... Yeah, maybe a message like everybody, as long as the lyrics are still good, and they, like... So, yeah, pretty much, like, I want Ultra 85 to, like, have, like, be, like, all the albums dissected. Like,
take the highlights of each one.
Yes.
And put them into one album.
Yeah, you got me. You feel me?
Well, the whole problem... Okay, so yes, that's kind of what I want as well. But I understand what reality is. And I also understand that this man has been making albums for quite a long time. You know, this guy's dropped an album every year for 7 years, I think, now.
Now it's 7.
Yes. And so, obviously, I feel like he's put some of his best work already out there. And so I have a strange feeling, as much as I want to go back to bleak yet soulful beats of Under Pressure, I understand that will never happen again, because I just am not that fortunate enough to have my favorite album of all time get a fucking second album. So I understand that'll probably be not what I'm gonna get. My expectations are some... I mean, if I'm gonna be, like, honest, I'd give me Everybody Part 2. You might as well, like, give me Everybody, and then just throw in some about the story of
I don't want... Oh, man, I would not want the story to be, like, an Everybody Part 2.
No, it's not Everybody Part 2. The story would be, like, Incredible True Story.
Yeah,
like that's actually... I'm actually 90% sure if that's what it's gonna be.
So you think it's gonna be, like, story like Incredible True Story, but sounds like Everybody.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm actually 90% sure. He's gonna move in... He wants to move into, like, possibly, like, more, like, retrospective, like, questioning, like, why the way things are. And you'll see, like, a lot of, like, I think he's gonna put, like, a lot of... I don't know the exact sound that it would be, but I feel like it's gonna be a lot more like an orchestra, not an orchestra, but, like, jazzy, like, like a lot more.
Yeah.
I feel like
there's a song in Under Pressure that has, like, that kind of.
Yeah, but I feel like it's gonna be like amp that up like 4 more times. And that's what it's gonna be like.
4 times the orchestra.
Yeah, he's like quadruple it, put in there. But no, it's gonna. I feel like it's gonna be something like that, where it's gonna be like a lot more of like in Under Pressure, the beats were a lot more simplistic, and it was like, all right, here's a pretty simple beat. I'm gonna rap over it and, like, tell a story. With this, I feel it's gonna be like a motion picture, but, like, of instruments. It's gonna be like It's gonna be a really beautiful, like, construction of sounds together to make an awesome thing. But I really feel like the lyrics are gonna, like, suffer a bit from it, because Logic's gonna really want to pay attention, because Logic's not really a rapper anymore. Like, he's an artist that literally likes to make, like, you know, not raps, but he likes to make, like,
Logic's changing.
He is. He actually is changing. Like, he likes to make pictures for the mind. That's how I label him. He's literally a real, like, a Picasso, except he makes, like instead of drawing, he draws for, like, your ears. That's how I see it. That's literally how I feel. So like he wants everything to be so beautiful, and it's not just about like having like a sick rhyme anymore.
He makes art for the ears.
Yeah. So he's
basically what I do already.
Yes, of course. Like he's calling you up, and he's like, Hayley, listen, I got this sick beat here. He's like, what's the minimum amount of lyrics I can get put in? And you're like, well, Logic. Actually, if you used Photo After Effects, I don't know.
No. No, John, I make art for the eyes and ears. Okay?
Okay.
See what I did there? But, so, then where do you... I feel like they might have said this or made it very clear early on in this, like, conversation. Mm-hmm. But, like, where do you think the lyrics will be? Like,
the lyrics are going to basically be similar to everybody.
Well...
Maybe, I would say, like, if... combined like a salt, like a little pinch of salt from like Incredible True Story, and just like spread it out over an entire like souffle of everybody, and that's Ultra 85.
Well, actually, when I was listening to the mixtapes, I found it interesting. Like I was really thinking about it, and compared to like modern day rappers today, in terms of like
he's a lot better. Yeah.
Well, like, he talks, like, I mean, talk about eating pussy and, I mean, there was, like, a song where he was, something about, like, being racist. He's like, JK, I'm not racist. Like, doing stuff like that. He was, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I have this big fog over my head when it comes to the mixtapes. And how to explain, like...
That he's biracial?
No, I had enough of that.
Yeah, if you didn't know, he's biracial. He hasn't touched on it, even though every album he raps about. Oh, I didn't talk about being biracial on the last album, even though you mentioned being.
Yeah, he mentioned it a lot within like the mixtapes, but I just can't remember. Whatever, but I just can't think. Basically, just for the love of God, don't.
What are you getting at?
I can't remember. It just, like, went there and it got lost.
And that is the...
That's ADHD.
That is the highlight of the podcast. Hayley spending 5 minutes literally saying nothing the entire time. And she's just trying to, like, formulate the smallest point that she wants to add on.
No, I have
and then she just goes,
point. I just don't remember.
I have no idea what
I don't remember where it
about.
went. No, just put, like, just take this whole fragment and just put it right in the beginning. Before the intros, like, the music.
I won't even have any music for this.
Really?
I might put Under Pressure.
Also, you want me to... Oh, yeah, just have me sing it really poorly.
Yeah.
Man, I could have just brought, like, a recorder and just, like, try to play it
I
on
just
that.
want to make these music lovers remember again. And then you go, while the haters fall back like September again.
Like, March again.
What?
It's March. John. Get it? Sorry.
And that's all for this podcast. Haley.
I ruined the podcast.
Haley, how do you feel about doing your first podcast?
It's hard.
Do you really think it's that hard?
Yes. Yeah, because, like, I tend to apparently lose my train of thought. Yeah, like that. I think without you, I'd suck really bad. Because you seem to be, like, the other, I don't know, puzzle? I can't think.
The missing piece to your puzzle?
Yeah, that.
Yeah?
Exactly!
Well, I'm glad I could guide you on your journey through your first podcast.
Add me on SoundCloud. No, I'm kidding.
Follow Haley on SoundCloud. Thank you for coming on. I had a blast making this. We've never really dived into anything that's not really sports related.
We never do.
No, I never do. So I do plan on making more of these with my friends, and again, I just purely for fun. I really enjoy like getting to discuss stuff with people. So I'm really glad that you could make it for this podcast, and I would like to have you back on another if you would like to.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Did it suck that bad?
It was beautiful. But thanks for listening, everyone. If you made it this far, you probably quit when she lost her train of thought. You're like, okay.
No, I probably quit after like 4 minutes.
After 4 minutes, and they were like, what the hell are they even talking about? But anyways, guys, until next time, my name is JT Smelik.
And I'm Hayley Seibel.
Says that with
So depressed.
so much emphasis. And until next time, guys, thanks for listening.